Welcome to this episode of Talk with Ugo. My name is Ugo Madam. With me today is Mr. Moses. Moses, welcome to this episode of Talk with Ugo.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's a great honor to be here.
it's a singular privilege to
I
have a man of
appreciate
your
it.
caliber on my show.
Thank you.
Well, today we'll be talking about accountability. Do you feel you hold yourself accountable? We all lack the the ability to hold ourselves accountable, to call ourselves out. We always blame the government, always blame our parents,
Mm,
blame our ex, we blame something. We don't really own up to ourselves that, yeah, we would have done better regardless. We didn't get the best from our parents, we would have done better. Regardless, Nigeria is
mm,
not really the best place to be, we would have done better. We saw this ex for what she was or what he was, and we don't really do that whole accountability. And there's an Igbo saying, "Onye na-amarọ ebe mmiri bidoro mabịa, ama mgbe mmiri ji kwụsị ịmụ ya." If you don't know when the rain started pouring on you, you will
yeah.
not know when it stops. It speaks volume, place a value on this last adage.
Mm,
But today I'm with Mr. Moses and we'll be talking about accountability.
yeah.
This episode of Talk with Togo. If you enjoyed the last episode, please like, view, subscribe,
Right.
comment, God bless you, and share. Share, please
Yes.
share. If you enjoy the content, share
And
with
hit the
your friends.
notification bell, right?
I swear. We are talking about accountability. What do you
Yes.
think?
Well, it's a very touchy topic
Yeah.
because it's a lot of you find a lot of people claim they're accountable or try to give that look, but deeply they truly are not. Because if they were, you'd find it, the problems we have these days, a lot of people wouldn't be going through what they're going through if they were half as accountable as they claim to be. So it's a very touchy topic. It's somewhere that people, when you talk about it, it's something that people like to claim they do or like to believe they do, but don't actually do it. So if people actually take the back step to look back at themselves and look at the experiences, the people they've met, the relationships they've had, the ones they've broken and the ones that have worked, you find accountability matters a lot, and it's something that I believe that people should actually start to consider and take more seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I got to a stage in my life where
Yeah.
I decided to like be
Mm.
accountable for me. I didn't want to like blame my parents,
Yes.
blame the government, or blame maybe my siblings or my uncle, my auntie. I just told myself, you are the author. This is your life.
Yes.
You have to like make something out of it.
Mm.
I told myself that, and I decided I'm going to work on myself every day. I wake up, do something,
Yes.
make a change, try to like, even if it's just one thing, write it down,
Yes.
accomplish it.
Accomplish it. Yeah.
Because for me, the end game for everything is, if you are a musician,
Mm.
your second music should be better than your first. Maybe your first album should be your second album should be better than
Better
your
than
first
your
album.
first. Yes, of course. Yeah.
If you are creating a content, maybe your second season should be better than the first
The
season.
first season.
If you're a businessman, your second business deal should be better than the first business deal. Second proposal should be better than the first proposal.
Mm. Mm.
You have to like, you don't really need to wait to get it all, to be the best, because you want to be. The only way you can learn is when you start doing it.
Absolutely.
If you're a virgin and you've seen 1,001 pornography, you will suck at the first time having sex.
Yes. True.
You have to go out there to try it. You want to start a business. You don't wait. There is never a right time when dollar will come down or when it will go. There's never a right time.
That's
You need
true.
to go and start doing it.
Mm.
You have to make your mistakes. You learn, and I feel like if
Mm.
you hold yourself accountable,
Yes.
you have that urge to do more.
Absolutely.
And once you start doing, once you start putting the action, the reward will come in.
Mm.
So that was like the first thing my own perception, my own view about accountability.
Yes.
Yeah, once you hold yourself accountable, you see yourself doing more than you anticipated you're going to do.
Mm.
So
I believe
that's it for
that's
me.
true. One thing I would like to mention is if I think how people should look at accountability is this. For me, my biggest fear is going through my life and then looking back and seeing things you could have done, moves you could have made, but because you spent your time blaming others and blaming the scenario around you, you waste your time and you waste your life, and then everything just passes by. That's one. I think if people look at it as their biggest fear to not have achieved something that and see others achieving it, not because they're better, but because they
They never
actually
tried.
because they never tried.
No,
Yes.
no, I've never regretted anything I did.
Mm,
The things I go back, I regret are the things I didn't do.
exactly. There you go.
Yeah, there are people you meet and you sell them this amazing business idea, or they have an amazing business, they're not going to invest in it.
Yeah.
But once iPhone 14 drops, they'll go and buy iPhone 15 drops, they'll go and buy
Exactly. They'll go
it.
and buy it. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
And they will keep on telling themselves, I'm waiting for the right time.
Yes.
And someone that has less opportunity, less talent, less of everything, just wake up, starts from somewhere, and before you know it, boom, the person
Yeah.
is there.
Mm.
And you're there admiring the person when you should have started long ago.
Mm.
That's with regards to what you say.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
So if people start looking at it as, as people start looking at the fear, having that fear of not having tried or even tried to pick themselves up, if people have that fear in their heads, that's when I think people start to like, you know what, let me actually stop blaming this, whether it's business or whether it's relationship or something. Let me stop blaming the environment around me and start looking at myself to see how I can adjust and push myself.
Yeah, sure. The most successful people have failed the most.
There you go. That's true. That's another true saying. Yeah.
The most successful people have failed the most.
Mm.
For you to succeed at something, you have to fail. This is not university where you can have straight A's.
Yes.
Because in the uni, you first is like you're taught, you study, you have a guide on how. Probably you have the marking scheme of the lecturer. You have a guide. You have past questions.
Yes.
In real life, you don't have all those things. You just have to go out and try.
Absolutely.
You win some, you lose some. But like every man's biggest enemy is fear.
Mm.
You see a business opportunity, invest that money, forget about it. If it comes true, it comes true. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it shouldn't stop you from the next investment.
Yes. Yes.
It shouldn't. So that's like my own with regards to fear, and people should hold themselves accountable in such a way that they have to jettison fear.
I see.
There's an Igbo saying, "No obikeja atruego."
Hitting us with the Igbo sayings today.
Yeah,
Like that.
obikeja atruego. Mind, chest money to make money. You have to have guts. Obikeja atruego. I can still remember one of my favorite albums.
Yes.
Like when I was in school, like Fino, No Guts, No Glory, and that album put him in the limelight.
Yeah.
No guts, no glory.
God's no glory.
And if you don't hold yourself accountable, I'm coming out, I'm doing this. If I fail, I fail. If I win, I win. If you don't put yourself in that position, you won't get it. And me, I have this. I know there's always a plan B for me. There's a plan C. There's a plan D. God's willing, because I'm a Christian.
Yes.
But once I'm working on something, I'm not thinking about the plan B, plan C, plan D.
Yes.
That only one, it has to work. I fell today, the next day. I did something wrong for me to fail. I have to fix it. And that's me holding myself accountable.
True.
I don't know if you found yourself in that position. What do you think?
Well, where you look at the plan A as being the plan A, right? And you don't look to try and look to fall to B, C, and D. But the thing is, sometimes where that can get a bit sketchy for me, my own view is, when do you know when to diversify into something like that plan B? You know, because when you say plan B, it doesn't have to be, okay, I'm canceling everything I'm doing here and I'm going to start another thing as plan B.
That's what I'm saying. Like people that would want to cancel something, like they are doing this business.
Yes.
And
because
they're still thinking about this. I feel like if you're doing something, you fail at it. There's a reason why you failed. Go back to the drawing board. Was it the way I was speaking to people? Was it my inability to show up every day? Was it this? Was
I not meeting the right people?
Was it the equipment I'm using? Was it this? Was it that? What should I improve? How do I get access to improve these things? You ask yourself that question and you start working towards it. That's what I'm talking about.
That's accountability right there.
That's accountability.
Yes.
If you start doing it, maybe you're a footballer, you're having a bad season. Probably you're having a bad season because you are not really as hardworking as you be, and you're being bent. If you hold yourself accountable instead of testing, or rather hating the coach, or the player that is actually benching you, go back to the gym, go back to the drawing board, work hard. In the process of doing, the universe will always reward hard work. Work hard, try to improve yourself. That's what I'm talking about. But you see people when they see something is not working, The immediate response is to go to the next thing.
No, that is wrong. Yeah, that's not a good way of looking.
Yeah.
That's
It's called, like, in relationship, it's called monkey branching.
monkey branching.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Instead of trying to know the problem with that.
Yeah. And most times, at times, the problem is even you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That could be something.
Yeah, and if you don't fix the problem, that's accountability. If you don't fix the problem with this business,
Yes.
you want to jabba, you go with that same you
Yes. I'm going to another business.
and go into maybe another venture.
The lack of accountability, it's a slow killer.
Yeah.
It's a very silent killer. You won't see it happening because you're in the moment of whatever you're doing and you're like, this one didn't work, or this relationship didn't work, or that didn't happen. It must be this or that. Let me move on to this.
Yeah, you did something wrong.
Yeah.
You
You
did.
get-
Maybe you were too kind. Maybe you were a fool. Go back to the drawing board.
Drawing board. There you go.
What do you have to say about people that blame their parents and circumstances of their birth? What do you have to say about it?
People that blame their parents for, lack of opportunities or things
Yeah,
like that.
mostly adult, not really children, but someone that is like 28,
Mm.
27, 25,
Yes.
30, 35.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, everybody has a part to play in life. Your parents, their part to play is to give birth to you,
Okay.
clothe you, feed you, make you at least help you to get to get good education and things like that. So at least you have a bit of knowledge and at least you have a degree because that's what I believe these days. Degree is just it's a paper thing. What you really have is what you carry from there and the experience you're going to use to apply yourself. So I believe everybody has a part to play. You understand?
Yeah.
So the parents, they've done their own part by giving birth to you, bringing you out there, trying to at least get you to go to school, take care of you to a certain point. Where I believe it now starts to become your responsibility is when you have the knowledge of, trying to, develop yourself with the kind of people you place around you, your friends, your circle, things like that. That is where it starts to come to. So people that blame their parents, there's two sides to there's two sides to what do you call it? Every coin.
Story.
Yeah, every story. You understand? Because even the parents can say, well, you were the one, not willing to push yourself and take yourself out there. But then I believe blaming anyone but looking at yourself is the wrongest way to go in life. You don't get to do that. What you need to do is look at yourself first and look at how you can adapt. You may not have gone to Harvard in in the United States, but there are a lot of people who didn't go to Harvard that are still making more than those that went to Harvard.
Obviously.
So it's all about your mentality. So I believe that blaming parents is the wrongest way to go.
Yeah.
Even those that have the best of the best, they can still look for ways of trying to blame.
My father was never around. That's why I'm fucked up.
Exactly. There you go. So it's just it's a vicious cycle. And then when you go on blaming your parents, mind you, one day you're going to go to have kids as well. And the same reception because of that mentality is something you could even pass on to them, and then they will be looking at you as like, well, at least this and that. But that's everybody has.
Yeah. I when I was younger, I didn't really appreciate my father as much as I do now. I feel like I'm my mom's favorite child. My mom is my favorite person in my family. I love her the most. So I didn't really like see what my father was doing until I graduated, went to law school, came out, and life happened. I started paying my bills. Gradually, I started appreciating my father the more.
Yes.
When I started this business, I understood my business, PMG, Phenomenal Media Grandeur. I now started appreciating like what it is. Like it's hell. Being a man is not easy.
No, it's not. No, it really isn't.
At times your dad comes home and is not in a good mood, and you guys are messing up. You've not done your assignment. You messed up the place. And he starts like trying to discipline you. You detest your father because he's trying to make you, and he's trying to he's training you.
Yes, training. Yeah.
But you hate him. He's doing the right thing, but as a child you feel like, oh, he's back. Oh, he's back. And when you get to that stage as a man, you start appreciating your father. Please, if you're listening to this and your father is still alive, show him love. Like, I know we love our fathers. Show your father love. Show him love. He might not be like, he might not tell you, Nigerian fathers, he might not tell you I love you.
Yeah.
He's not going to do all those emotional stuff for you, but Find a way to, maybe it's even his act of service, find a way to show him love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It might be just helping him type something out. That's what he needs from you. Or you calling
Mm.
him, having a 20 minutes conversation. Please do that with your father.
Mm.
Because he wouldn't even like want to ask so much from you.
Of course.
Because he understands as a man that you have so much on your plate.
Yeah, you have
So that
responsibilities.
little act of service, taking up, letting him know you know that you care in a language you would understand is something we should do. And let's stop blaming our fathers.
Absolutely. More love for fathers.
More love for fathers.
Yes, so
Yeah,
because we're all
so-
going to be we're all going to be fathers one day.
Even
And I would hate to hear my son saying, I'll just look at him and say, my friend, if you know what I've been through in my life, you'd also tighten your shokoto and get to move on with your life and look to them. Do make something of yourself, because everybody has that. Everybody needs to have that reality check of
yeah.
knowing that this is life. Life is not easy for everyone.
Yeah.
Life is not even the people that it's easy for. They have their own battles they're going through
Yeah.
as well. So all you need to do is take accountability for yourself and your environment, and you get to push on with things. And once you have the right energy within you to do what you want to do, the right energy will surround you.
Do not blame your parents.
No.
Now,
Definitely.
with regards to accountability, do you feel like it's out of place? We really blame so much. We blame the government. We blame Nigeria. We're always blamed. But I feel like we as Nigerians, we also we have our own additives to the problems we have in Nigeria.
Absolutely. You see, Nigeria, as I've said before, this is one thing I believe in, like one of my beliefs in life. Nigerians, we're the only kind of people that look like in suffering, instead of looking at how to come out of that suffering, to improve, to make life easier, to to improve.
Yeah.
We are looking to make others suffer through, like, if you know, let's say with this petrol scarcity thing, for instance, instead of trying to make it better, you'd find that people are trying to cheat people in that whole process in the first place.
And you're still blaming the state government for being a shitty governor.
Exactly. So we're the best at looking to make others suffer in our own suffering. As we're all suffering, we'll say, let me see how I can make money out of these people's suffering. You get?
Yeah.
That's our problem a lot.
What do you have to say about some Nigerians? They just sit back and blame everything on the government.
On government. I believe those kind of people that complain about government, this government, that politicians corrupt, this, that. I promise you, my brother, as they enter that seat, they are going to do 10 times worse than what these people are doing now. Because we have this mindset of, did anybody help me when I was coming up? Now that I'm here, myself, let me do my own. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
so, like, I normally find that people who blame government, blame this, blame that, you normally find that once they're in there, they'll probably do just as bad as what these people are doing now. They won't look to really, improve on anything that they've been complaining about. And governments too, they have their own. I won't lie. That's why I say there's two sides to every coin. They have
our government is not the best. Yeah. So I feel like we should blame the government less and start being accountable. Start from somewhere.
Take up responsibility.
Like, I feel like Nigeria is a virgin land. It's like there's so many ideas, and because of how bad the country is bad. We don't bullshit it at talk with you guys. We don't lie. Like today I woke up, there was no water in Otaku. You want to work at night, you wake up and there's no light.
No light.
Your power is off. And a lot of things that is really limiting about Nigeria. There's so much.
You have to buy diesel.
You have to
petrol for a gen or something.
No, even there are days even petrol is not a sustainable means of having power. The gen will break down. Maybe because we're in Abuja, you can maybe do petrol for 6 hours and there is no light. There are people in other states, they might go 18 hours, 24 hours and they don't get light. How do you strike? How do you encourage productivity in that area? But in as much as these things are here, like I feel like we should just push ourselves. Like there is so much opportunity online. Just develop yourself, start a skill. I'm a lawyer and I just started my media business. I just left the scope of law. I'm making a difference, and the more difference I make and the more value I attach to it by improving what I'm doing, I feel like that's the more when I get paid, and then the related gratification.
Yes.
If you're going to do something, you want to make a difference, please don't compete with someone that I don't know. Don't just compete. But what do you think? What do you think about what I just said about Nigeria and delayed gratification and starting from somewhere.
Starting from somewhere. Yeah, I mean, people tend to have this mindset when they're around a certain, like, let's say if you go on the road now, and you have this little collective of people there. You find that once one of them or a few of them have a certain mindset about how Nigeria is this, Nigeria, the government this, the government that, that kind of thing, you find that that whole area, that whole community of people this is their mindset. Like they're just everything is wrong, everything is wrong. This is not right. This is not right. So they kind of pull, like we like to pull ourselves into this hole they get. And once this person pulls this person, this one will pull that person, this one will pull that. Before you know it, you have that whole community thinking, it's the fault of Nigeria, it's the fault of the government, it's this, is that. But they actually don't take their time to say, what can I do for myself to start something positive for myself and my family? Change begins with you. Start. No one can change your life for you unless you are lucky enough to have people who love you that much to be around you and say, to be very honest with you, I feel this is something you should. And that's when you should also take the chance to also say, let me actually look at what these people are saying, and let me see if it's something I would want to try or do. It's comfortable to blame others.
It's comfortable.
It's easier.
It's easier.
People like the easy way out.
Easy way out. What do you have to say about accountability with regards to relationship?
In relationship, accountability, it could come from two sides. It could come from the guy, it could come from the girl, and the guy could say if it's maybe something going wrong on the relationship. It could be the guy blaming the girl for being like this or like that, and the girl could say he doesn't have money. This is why my friends are doing this or doing that. That kind of thing where everyone's looking to blame the other person. The best thing to do is just know your partner. Know the kind of person your partner is. If you believe that this is what you want, if this lifestyle is what you want, this whole high style lifestyle, all of that, then go for what you want. But don't come after somebody who is just trying to manage himself and trying to build something, and come after him and say, you're not doing enough. This is what is going on. My friends are doing this. My friends have that. My friend's boyfriend had this. Those kind of things. Don't go for what you're not ready to be with. Don't go for what you can't be with yet. So accountability, that's a very touchy. As I told you, it's a very touchy topic.
Yeah, what you said is perfect. Like, just be accountable. Whatever decision you make, whatever spouse you pick, you pick a body that likes going out every Friday night. Don't stress yourself.
That's where it's from the guy's point of view.
Don't try to change it. You've talked about the lady's point of view. I have to talk from the guy's point of view.
Yes.
But I feel like I want to say something about women. Most times you attract what you are. Most times you could just go to your WhatsApp status and you see girls that really complain so much about men being this, men being that.
Yes.
You spend a day with them, you don't want to spend the next day with them. If before blaming the other gender, starting a gender war.
Yes.
Girls are greedy, girls are this, she used me. Hold yourself accountable. Before blaming that girl, first of all, hold yourself accountable. What did you do wrong in that relationship? What was your response to her? Before going into another relationship, after a relationship, work on yourself. But nowadays, it's so easy to get into a relationship. It's so easy to start dating. There is dating now, there is social media. So it's really easy to and there will always be someone out there to just move to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. Yes. And once you're doing that, becomes a norm, and your emotions are dying down, mostly for women. And the time is going. I feel like if a relationship does not work, go back to the drawing board. Don't blame men. What did I do wrong? Strive to improve yourself. And the more you improve yourself, the better the quality of people you attract.
I agree with that.
If you put more value to yourself, you attract more valuable people. Steve, I've been saying something. When you come out and say all men are dog, all this, all that, that's what you're going to attract.
That's all you'll find are dogs. That's your aspect on life.
Because that's what the universe will give to you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because our words is so powerful. Yes. So your word is so powerful. It starts with your mouth. You tell yourself you're a blessing, you become a blessing. You tell yourself you're wealthy, you start see yourself as a wealthy person. You start taking conscious decisions to be wealthy, you become wealthy. Whatever you confess, that's what you become. So I feel like with regards to relationship, someone broke your heart. Because there are good people out there getting crushed every day.
Yeah.
And bad people know how to target the good people and crush them.
Very much so, yeah.
For both genders, there are terrible women, there are terrible men.
Men, yeah.
And there's something I noticed, for every single time a relationship does not work, at the beginning, you know why that relationship is not going to work. But you still choose to go through with it, yes. So it's all about accountability.
Anyhow, we go run at the end of the day when it ends up running you, you'll be you'll be wondering how, when, where,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I get you. That's true.
It's all about accountability. Hold yourself accountable.
There needs to be a lot more of that in
Yeah.
like relationships. A lot more of it. You normally find the most healthy relationships that people take accountability for their actions. That's you'll be like, what are they doing that is different? They're not doing anything. They're just being accountable for one another. I'm accountable for myself. You're accountable for yourself. That's all. Like,
And then when we are together, we're accountable to each other and for each other.
exactly. That's the best combination you can find right there. One of the best, anyways. Among other attributes, obviously, love has to be there and all of that. But accountability is it's needed for a healthy relationship.
Let me use my popular phrase, moving forward.
Moving forward.
I want you to like just give me a closing remark.
All I can say, or what I believe, is instead of choosing the easier thing to do, to blame others and say it's his fault or her fault, why don't you try to actually push yourself and see how far you can go? Because at the end of the day, the greatest people in life, they all started from somewhere. And maybe at some point they were blaming others, but then when they started to take accountability for themselves, they turned out to be what they are. So instead of choosing the easy path and making everyone else your problem, why don't you take your life into accountability and start from somewhere and push yourself and see where you go? So stay accountable to yourself and
be true to yourself.
Yes, be true to yourself. There you go. Thank you.
Well, Moses, I had an amazing time. Like, we've talked about accountability. If you've listened to this episode, first of all, I want you to do something like subscribe, share, comment. But most importantly, when you go back, lock the door. Be true to yourself, advise yourself, hold yourself accountable.